Okay, so we are in the last part, which is completely a different topic, because I got call by a lot of students asking me about what are the opportunities we have in abroad for visiting for a short period of time to do any training or exchange program for coming for 3 months, 6 months, or year or couple of years. So before I do that, I want to give a simple background about myself, and then I want to go into the opportunities aspect. So before I do that, I want to thank Professor Varsha and her team. I met Varsha in 2019 in Madurai. She came for a conference where we met, and then we had a lot of communication on how to establish collaborations and also exchange. So we have papers, we have now this particular workshop in one of the successful event. So it's kind of takes time to build any collaboration. It's like almost 5 years now. Yeah. Hopefully the next year we will bring her to, we will invite her to the States to visit our lab. Okay, so going to the topic. Here in this room, I know that most of the students are zoology. So I'm going to ask, why did you decide to do zoology? What is the purpose of a zoology degree? And what do you need to do to make it a very successful experience? So I want to hear this from students, the answers for these 3 questions. So then I can really understand, what are your needs in the future, what are your long-term goals, etc. But starting with why you study zoology. Sometimes you don't need to have a reason, you just follow your friends, you follow, your parents or your neighbors. So you don't have a reason. It's okay, 100% it's totally fine. I didn't have a reason when I started studying botany. So I'm not blaming you, Again, don't feel like studying zoology is better than biotechnology or studying biotechnology is better than zoology. It's not like that. Whenever in science, you can jump into any subject whenever you want, down the road. But I want to hear from you why zoology. Any students? You can say, sir, I applied for all the programs, but I didn't get anything. This was my only choice I got. That could be an answer. I would like to hear your answer. Yes.
I was very confused to what to choose as my graduation degree. So my father suggested take zoology because it acts like an umbrella. You learn all things. So
It's your father.
Okay. My father. So
Okay.
Sir, I was initially interested in marine biology.
Marine biology.
But it was very specific.
Yes.
So I thought instead, what if I lose interest in...
So you can do zoology. And then
I
you can go specialized in marine biology.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's
So
good.
that's
Good idea. Okay, so you had a goal. Exactly. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So I wanted to see if I still will be interested after 3 years after this degree in my marine biology, because I also had interest in forensic sciences and all of those.
So you start with a goal.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Sir, initially I wanted to pursue veterinary science, but I couldn't pursue that, so I chose zoology, and even I have interest in genetics and forensic.
That is totally fine, yeah. So I was like that, I was interested in chemistry, but ended up in botany.
I was very much interested in insects. In childhood, I used to
Insects.
cut them and
Okay.
see. I
So
was,
it's kind of very interested.
yeah,
Okay, nobody influenced you.
no.
No. Okay, you apply. You decided after high school, you know what, I'm going to study only zoology because
Yes.
I am interested in understanding insects.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Master students. Why zoology? Why not botany? Why not biotechnology? Okay. Boys, what do you think?
So, I grew up watching various programs on National Geographic Channel and Discovery Channel. It was always fascinating to see
Yeah, the
how life
animals.
works
Yeah.
and to see the various organisms in their own habitat and how incredible their adaptations are.
Yeah.
Like the sheer concept of a fish that can produce electricity greater than in the circuits of the wire,
Okay.
that sheer concept can be all in previous ages. It's almost like a mythical organism, but we can study it and we can find out how it can do that. Just
good.
an aspect of studying life and knowing how it works,
Okay.
that
So
fascinates me
you
the
had an
most.
idea, you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyone after joining, after 6 months, after a year, oh my God, you know, I made a big mistake. I regret. Anybody had that feeling? Anyone? Just tell me the truth. Don't feel bad. You know, I'm sure some people like, you know what? I had no choice. I have crossed already a year. Now I just want to finish it. I don't want to go back, start another degree. Who has that? Who had that kind of feeling? This guy? Yeah? Anyone? Okay, so I'm going to talk about a little bit about my story. Who am I really? So I am from southern part of India, a very small village called Patti, Veeranpatti. Nobody knows this place. It's okay, but you can see we have mountains, we have coconut trees and paddy field, banana trees, etc. So pretty much, I grown up in a farmland, not in a city. When you grown up in a farmland, you're in the middle of the farm, you have only a simple house, there is no neighbors. Pretty much you wake up, your job is to help your parents, moving the animals or, helping your mom cooking because your dad goes to the field. So pretty much my job was to help my parents, and I am a single child, I don't have siblings, so I had no other choice except helping my parents. So again, in my days, so I am 58 now, you can imagine when I was grown up, no internet, nothing, not even, I think my father had a small Philip radio, and a particular time they put songs, that's the only time you can hear songs. The rest of the time we don't know what they talk about. So that's kind of, I grown up in the middle of the farmland. So the life was 7 days a week, there is no holiday, no travel. The travels are only in the summertime. When we have the summer vacation, you visit your family and friends' families or relatives, and kind of 1 week, and you stay their house, etc. Nothing very exciting. I never had like going to big cities or visiting places. So I had no goals. Clearly I was having a good time. I'm happy, every day, there was no pressure on me. Nobody put me like, you need to be a doctor, you need to be, no pressure on me. So I had a wonderful time, wonderful life. But so again, kind of I started my elementary school to get free lunch. This was kind of goal actually. My mom pushed me to go to school so that I can have a free lunch. She always make sure that I have a plate in my backpack so I get to get the free lunch. So 10th grade, I was like so poor. I just qualified and moved on, and then I really hated math, so I didn't want to select math in my high school, so I selected biology. So biology, you have physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, and then you have the languages. So not much, 12th grade, not much. You know, in India we have like 35 is cut off, right? You know, in abroad, in US 80. You have to, in master degree, 80 is minimum to qualify. 70 is minimum to pass. We are so lucky here, like 35 marks, enough to qualify, to have the degree. So I got all those things. So I had no idea. So then, you know, my life was influenced by my friends. So again, from a village, you know, you have a couple of friends. They all decided we go to Madurai, which is closer to our hometown, almost like a 60 kilometers. So we said, okay, we go to Madurai, we study undergraduate. So I was really interested in chemistry. Chemistry was my strength. So because of the teacher, right? It's not because of the subject. When you have a good teacher, you really like the subject. So I was really interested in studying chemistry. So I applied only for undergraduate, only for chemistry subject. So Madurai, it's a temple city, 60 kilometers away from parents. Those days, again, no communication. Once you leave the house, you go, you send a letter, postcard that you reached the hostel, you know, and then you don't have a communication. Whenever we needed money, then we send a postcard to our parents, and then they send the money by the telegram, something like that. So I went to the college called American College, undergraduate, first time in a big city. That was a big, a lot of surprise for me. You know, I was scared. First of all, I was scared to see the crowd in the bus and the big buildings, all those kind of thing. I wanted to study chemistry, and I applied. I didn't get any answers from the college. And then I went to the college and I asked for it. And they said, like, you didn't have math in your high school, so we can't give you chemistry. By the time my friends already joined in this college, so I didn't have any option to go to any other college. I said, what do you have? And they said, like, okay, you have botany or zoology. So I said, okay, I'm going to botany. It doesn't mean I love zoology, but botany was my better option. So I said, okay. So again, you know, I was influenced by friends. You know, I joined the college, and then I wonder why we are in this college, you know. Then they were all like making fun of us. Like, this college is surrounded by a lot of women's college. I think that was their big interest, you know. I was like, what? So again, you are influenced by your friends, not your parents. If you have a good friends, you are going to have a good path. If you have bad friends, you have a bad path, you know. I kind of completed my undergraduate. Again, I didn't have any goals. I just wanted to have time, you know, study botany. Even in my first semester, I got arrear. Anatomy is one of the very tough subject. You need to memorize all the names, you know, the plants, so many classification. So I didn't score enough mark. Anyway, I qualified with 57, but I completed my degree within 3 years of time. The only thing I did in my undergraduate was I was very active in NCC. You know, that NCC gave me a lot of distraction away from the studies, going all these camp, you know, summer camps outside of the city. My goal was only one. I didn't want to go to my parents' house. You know, when there is a vacation, I go somewhere rather than visiting my parents' place. You know, otherwise I have to work in the farm field, which I didn't want to do it. So you know, kind of my end of my degree, this is my feeling. You know, I didn't have any confidence, zero confidence on going to master degree. Couple of reasons. Number one, I felt like I didn't have the foundation, you know. I can do master degree, you know. Comparing to a lot of other students in the class or seeing seniors with a big book like biochemistry, cell biology, they all carry, master students normally having a big books and they study, right. So when you see them, you feel like, I don't think I am that kind of person. I don't have the foundation. My parents never went to school. I have always like an inferior complex of going for higher degree. So I ended up taking a break. I took 2-year break. So I worked, I traveled several cities. I worked at the spinning mill, winding mill, restaurant for 6 months, building construction for 6 months. I was keep on trying. I was keep on figuring out who really am I, what I am looking for. But I didn't have the answer. So the question I ask, still now I am asking is, if I do this job, what is going to be my status in next 2 years or 5 years from now or in a long term? When you don't see the answer, then that means like you are not doing the right thing. You should really change. You should not keep doing it by unhappy or somebody saying to do it. No, you have to sit back and think why I am doing this, what I am going to be in 5 years. If I do this job, what is going to be my salary? Can I buy a house? Can I buy a car? At least have a dream, So I saw that there was no future by all the small job I was doing. So I was traveling all the places. Finally, I come up with a conclusion that I need to study, really study, not like go and study, but really study. So I decided to do master degree. By the time I had 2-year gap year, 57% in my undergraduate. So you can imagine I cannot go to a big school, higher end school, it's impossible. So I ended up in a community college in further south from Madurai called Virudhunagar city. Again, in India, if you study geology, you cannot do any other degree. If you study undergraduate in botany, you study only in botany, master, So I went to masters in botany, but this time I really studied. I had no other goal, I was number 1 in the class, I was number 1 in the university, I qualified GATE exam, I was like rocking, I think once you hit the success, then you never stop it, so you keep on like, addicted to that success, So this promoted me to do, again I was the number 1 in the college history. They put me first time on the notice board ranking in the college. So I wanted to go back, all the professors, they strongly promoted me to do PhD because that's the only option I can grow. So I was very interested in plant biochemistry. I was again, being a botanist, grown up in the village, seeing all the plants, I always wonder how the color changes, how senescence changes, different color pattern, what biochemical reactions involved. So those kind of questions I always ask myself. So I went to Madurai Kamaraj University. This was 1991. Literally no internet. If you want to look for a reference, you go to the library. And then they have all the books and journals. So I didn't do any homework. I literally went to the university, knocked one by one faculty members, asking for any opportunities to join in their lab. So kind of one professor said, okay, I have a position in my lab, so you can join. So I joined the lab without knowing what the lab is doing. Again, I joined the lab and then I went to the lab and then I saw the thesis, everything is on heart disease. So I was really freaked out because I never dissected any animal, I never know how cardiac system works. So I went back to him and I told him, I think I made a mistake, I don't think I am interested in studying heart disease or heart failures. And he convinced me to stay in his lab and he told me, Sakti, there is no future in studying botany. I recommend strongly that this is an opportunity for you because he came from the states and so he recommended me to stay in the lab and do PhD in cardiovascular diseases. But I told him, okay, I will join, but I want to take another 2-year break. I didn't want to jump right away because I want to have a strong foundation. Before I do a registration, PhD registration, I really wanted to make sure I am really interested in this area. Again, I was not like rushing. I was not looking other of my friends and competing. Oh, this guy is already graduated, I should also graduate faster. I didn't force myself. I want to really build a strong foundation before I jump into it. So I worked as a technician for 2 years and I really enjoyed it. And then I joined for my PhD work. And that took me 5 years. So in total I spent 7 years after my master degree. But in my PhD time, I got the DAD fellowship. Again, I told at the beginning of this course, I was the first one starting genetic screening on hypertrophic cardiomyopathy in India, and that was an opportunity, and so I went to Germany on exchange program. So PhD from Madurai, and then I went to Germany for my DAD fellowship, PhD, and then postdoctoral training, and then I went to Cincinnati for my second postdoc, because in the first postdoc I was focusing on genotype phenotype correlation of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, but that was not enough. So to understand the disease mechanism, you need to have animal model, you need to have cell culture system, as we discussed. So I was looking for a lab who can do animal models. So I recognized one person in Cincinnati, Jeffrey Robbins. Again, today I get every day lot of emails asking, Dr. Sadayappan, I want to join in your lab. That's one sentence. They never justify why you want to come to my lab, what you want to do, why should I recruit, what you are going to give to my lab, and then what you are going to gain from my lab. No, just 3 sentences. But this was 2001, and I wrote 2 pages letter because I know I want to go into this lab. So I spent 1 month time preparing my cover letter, justifying why I want to join with you, how my presence in your lab is going to advance your research, etc. So I sent my email, I went to the restroom and I came back and I got the offer. Within 5 minutes, Professor, I have a position for you, you can come and join. So I went to Cincinnati, this was 2002. I spent 7 years working with him as a postdoc 3 years, research scientist 2 years, research instructor 2 years. 7 years, but during that 7 years time, I thought, just a PhD is not enough, so I did my MBA at University of Cincinnati. So it's a part-time MBA. Again, you keep learning, keep advancing, keep differentiating yourself from others, in improving your qualification. So in 2009, I moved to Chicago to start my independent research lab. I was an assistant professor. So now I know how to organize, how to conduct research labs or train students, etc. This MBA was so helpful. Again, I know we always look at other degrees. We think like PhD is the highest degree, we don't need anything else, but that is not true. The MBA, again, you don't need to be an MBA guy. I'm not an MBA guy, but MBA gives us a lot of management training. For example, people management in a lab is a challenge. If you have 5 trainees in your lab, how do you manage them? Always a challenge, and then time management, financial management, project management. So a lot of things MBA can give you the background. You may have already the experience, but MBA can give you the theoretical knowledge. Then now you know why you are doing it, how you are doing it. For example, in people management, tactics is one of the best area. People apply tactics all the time, right? Postdoc comes to me showing all the data. I know he's going to ask for a vacation. or he's going to ask for a salary rise. Or if the person comes in the body language with a very sad face, I know there is something wrong. Or he wants to leave the lab or something. So I can predict. You don't need to. Sometimes you don't need to say yes. You don't need to say no. You can say, I will think about it. I will get back to you. Instead of saying no, instead of saying yes. So some of the decision process, you have to have this kind of experience. Otherwise, you always either over-promise or under-promise, and then you get into trouble. So those are the things I learned in that time. So after I joined at Loyola University, it was very quick. Within 4 years, I was promoted to associate, and then within 2 years, I moved to University of Cincinnati as a full professor, also center director for heart disease. That was a big jump for me. And then now I am also professor, also head of the department at University of Arizona, cellular and molecular medicine. So I put this article. If you have time, I strongly recommend to read this article. In this article, my message is only one thing: there is no tomorrow. Don't wait for tomorrow. Okay, do it today, get it done today. Don't postpone, don't hold on it. If you think anything, get it done. Okay, that's one message. Second message was resourcefulness. What is resourcefulness? It is a process to get things done in a smart way. Instead of complaining about the system, we say, oh, last 3 days, rainy. You complain. My parents never helped me. You complain. My professor is not supporting me. Complain. My department chair is not promoting me. You always complain about the system instead of you complain about yourself. Are you putting enough effort to get things done? Are you finding a way? You can't change the system. You can't stop the rain. You can't change the city, how the system works in the city. But you can change yourself, find a way, get work done. That's a resourcefulness, and that's what I put in this article, that if you have the resourcefulness, you can really accomplish whatever you want in your life. So again, this is a house we had in Cincinnati. Summertime, nice and green. Wintertime, a lot of cold, snow. Snow cleaning is one of our job during winter time, just to take the car out of the garage. It's my mom. She passed away last December. She was my real model. She supported me throughout my career. I took her to Chicago. She had a great time. You can see she was so happy. And this is my family. I have a beautiful wife, 2 boys. So they are all already grown up. They are out of home. They are doing very well. One is in medicine. Another one is ready to do a PhD in neuroscience. So they are almost getting ready. So now I am going to what are the fellowships or projects available to advance your career in abroad. So before I go, I would like to answer any question if you have. Any question on me? Yes.
How did you develop skills for the lab, before you went to the MSc professors, and did you have lab skills or anything before that?
So the lab skills I developed, you remember I was a technician for 2 years. During that time, my job was to help graduate students, pretty much. In India, at that time, there was no postdoc. Whoever graduate, they leave immediately to either European countries or states, right? So I was in the lab helping all the students in doing Western blot, or those days we were using radioactive dot blot analysis or protein isolation, all the technique, you kind of go early and stand next to them. In the first few months, they ignore you, seriously ignore you. And then you have to show the persistence, It's like if you want to learn, you have to be with them all the time. This is common for any, even you go to engineering or surgery or anything, you want to learn from somebody, you have to show the dedication. So I was always in the lab, be good guy and helping people. So slowly they trained me. I was doing surgery, animal surgery. I was going to the hospital, collecting blood sample. I was a phlebotomist for the hypertrophic cardiomyopathy project. I go village with the consent forms. I convince families to give me blood samples. And they say yes, but there was no nurse or anybody I can, so I was trained to collect blood samples. So you keep pushing yourself. Whatever you need to do, you need to learn. There is no system for you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
So I wanted to ask, since you said the cover letter was so impactful, what did it include? Did it include like I factors, like I want to this or I offer this? How to write a good cover letter?
The good cover letter is first you need to find out a common ground between you and the PI or whoever you apply. What is the common thing? Professor, I was at your lecture, I seen you, something. You start with connecting both. Or your name was recommended by so and so. Okay, something you need to connect. Otherwise, I am not going through the rest of. Or I was in Pune when you came, gave a talk, I met with you. You remember I asked you a question? That's it. Then I'm getting interested, So first you put the ground, common ground, and then you talk about what is your interest. And then you talk about how your interest matches to my interest in terms of research. What motivated you to come to my lab, and then what knowledge you are going to bring to me. It's not like you are going to come and learn from me. I also need something from you. So what are you going to do? You can say, if I join your lab, I'm going to work on this area. I'm going to bring new knowledge to your research. So you have to give something so that they can, okay, so you are already thinking ahead. Instead of you're going to work for me as a technician, you are going to come as a scientist. I want you to be a scientist, not a technician. Technician will come and do what exactly I said to do it. But you are not to be, right? So again, you have to, it comes by practice. Again, you ask help. You have to ask help, right? You can't write perfect letter. That's what your professor is here. So you draft a letter, you share the letter with a couple of people before you send it out. Don't assume you can write the best letter. It's not always. You have to share with other people, get feedback, and then you send it because you want this to happen. So that's the goal.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions?
I had a question that you did MSc in botany, right?
Correct.
And then you shifted your PhD research or PhD work into cardio. So that's a completely different field for you.
Yes.
So how did you build interest in that? Because you didn't know that you had interest in cardio or all of that.
Never. I had no idea.
So how did you build up your knowledge? How did you build up your interest? And how did you work so hard for 2 years in the field which you never knew and you never had interest in?
So again, this is the thing, like when you say botany, we don't study botany by itself. We study genetics.
Yeah.
We study zoology people, right? You study genetics, you study microbiology, you study molecular biology, right?
Yeah.
So we also study that. So it's not like botany means, plant only, So we have a basic knowledge, right? So when you talk about the disease or any other area, still the same molecular biology you are going to apply, genetics, for example, right? So the subject, as long as you have the foundation, you can jump into any field. I cannot go to math, right? That's completely, but within zoology, within botany, within biology, I can jump wherever I want to because it's the same at the end of the day. It's not so big difference. But again, that's what I took 2-year time to work and learn what exactly I am going to do down the road. Even I pushed myself, I went to the professor, said, I want to write a review article, I want to understand what is cardiac hypertrophy. Give me a chance, I will collect all the articles, whatever we have in the library, I want to put together a review article. And he said, yeah, do it. So I did that even during my technician time to learn what I'm going to do, what I'm really interested in, But the disease, whenever I started reading it, it was really fascinating me. And because in my village there were people died because of the heart disease. So I know that it's important and I can kind of cure or come up with something to understand the disease. So that's what I developed my way. But again, I listened to my professor. That's what I can say at the end of the day. He convinced me to stay in the lab.
So he convinced you and then you built
I took it, yeah.
Sir, as you said, you take a two-year gap after the graduation. So after 2 years, you have confidence to do the MSc. So it's like completely restarting the field.
Yeah.
So there need a very much confidence for that.
Yeah.
Like we are many students, we take a drop for some other exams,
Yeah.
and now we just restarted end up beginning in a new field.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to restart that.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges that you face that time and how you tackle that challenges?
Yeah, no, so I applied for master degree and I didn't get most of the colleges. So this was a community college, so I was the last admission, 16th class. They had a class of 16 students. My roll number was 16, 1991 something 16. Last student, class already started. 2 weeks I was going to the classroom after 2 weeks, so students are already there in the class. So you can imagine my fearness, right? There are students from the same college, top ranked students in the class. So the first semester we had taxonomy again, then we had embryology, I think 3 subjects we had, right? So I was really like collecting all the materials, everything, studying. The first quiz, I was number 1 in the class. That miracle happened. I don't know how it happened, but that happened. From that point, nothing stopped me. From that point, nothing stopped me, and then everybody started looking at me, and then everybody's like, put me on the top. They come, all the students come to me, ask my help, ask my notes, so I'm like, help. 2-year gap, I'm already elder than my classmates, so I was already in a position to help them. So it's kind of, I really enjoyed. I was, again, in the second year, I was the chairman of the MSc Student Association. So again, side by side, I also learned the leadership skill along with my academic skill as well. So it was difficult, but once I hit that, then I was really working hard. Studies, only studies, late night, early morning, Saturday, Sundays, I go into somewhere in the college, quiet area, spend all my time. Yeah. Any questions on kind of personal skill development? Yes.
Sir, academics as a whole is a field which takes a lot of time to get going into the career.
Correct.
Oftentimes well into after 25, closer to 30.
Yeah.
Some people get demotivated before they reach their goal. So you took quite a gap between your various degrees.
Stage, 9-year postdoc after PhD.
Yeah. How did you keep yourself motivated to go on?
Because I know the end of the tunnel, like where I am going, right? So all I wanted to build a strong foundation. So when I selected the training, I always went to the best place. So I went to Germany, Max Planck Institute for cardiology. It's the best in the world. Unlimited resources. I was there. Then I thought, this is not enough. So then I was looking, where should I go? Okay, states. Within the states, which professor? I didn't want to go to Cincinnati. I didn't want to go to Harvard. I wanted to go best mentor, best lab in the world. So that was my goal. I didn't apply 100 people randomly and then whoever gave me the opportunity. I didn't go that way. I just opposite. I selected, this is the lab I wanted to go. What should I do to go to that lab? You know, because that mentor, very strong mentor, published good paper, funding unlimited, you know, and trained from that lab, everyone is a faculty. You know, so how to push myself to go? So then I convinced him to join in his lab. And in fact, he was the best mentor. I recommend, I told always, he has a very nice, like a line, you know, professional line, you know, he challenges you all the time. The one thing, like, don't expect your mentors to be nice. If they are nice, they are not helping you. If they are demanding, that means they are helping you. Because once you move out, you will tell, like, because of his strong demand, I was able to come out of my comfort zone, make it happen. If that mentor is super nice, then you are always like doing small thing and please him. And then when you go out, you always say, yeah, he was nice, but he never helped me. Right? So you have to have a strong mentor who push you to move out of your boundaries and comfort zone. That's very important. You know, it doesn't mean that mentors don't love you, they love you, but they want you to succeed. So you have to take as a positive feedback from them. So that point of view, first we look for publications. How many papers from this particular lab per year published, and where are these papers, high impact journals or low impact journals? So you can decide. And there is a database, for example, called the NIH Reporter. So you can look how much funding the investigator has. You know, so that helps you to look, okay, the mentor has 2-year funding or 5-year funding, or how many 5-year funding. So if they have more funding, then they are strong mentors, you know. And then the website, you look, okay, how many people in the lab right now, and where are the former trainees are. You know, you can look all the papers, and then you can look LinkedIn and see where they are, you know, and then find somebody to call. These days, for example, if you are interested to join my lab, I invite you to come give a talk. You can spend 2 days, meet with my lab people, and then you can see, you know, how the lab is running, how people are in the lab, etc. But you have to do the homework. Instead of just look online, okay, I see the name, cut and paste, the rest of the letter, only change the name and send it out. That's not going to work. You need to be very specific, person to person. Again, you don't need to write 100 letters, just 3 letters. Select top 3 and then focus on them. Okay, so the next one, opportunities. First for master degree. So again, what are the opportunities if you have a master degree? So you can go industrial oriented jobs, you can prepare for civil service exams, or you can do PhD, or you come abroad for higher studies. Master students, you already have a master degree, I would recommend you to come for a PhD, because undergraduate here, if you have a 3-year undergraduate, you need 1 more year as either training or something to really qualify or compete with master degree students, because undergraduate, if you apply, you cannot compete with the master degree students, right? So you have to have additional experiences. So again, in India, you can write all these exams. I think right now CSIR gives a lot of money. If you rank within 100, you get the presidential fellowship, which is 70,000 rupees per month. Don't say you don't have opportunities in India. You have huge opportunity. I know some of the students getting 70,000 per month as a graduate student right after your master degree. All you have to do this exam. Why can't you do it? You know, why can't somebody is doing it, why can't you do it? Meaning that you should put effort. That's all, pretty much. So the next one is master degree in abroad. I think it's changed the fonts. So these are the master degrees. So again, you can come for a second master degree if you don't feel strong, foundation you have. But this is an expensive one. Your family has to support you at least to get the visa. But if you come, you can work 20 hours per week and make some fellowship or funding to support your stay, your expenses. So that's all possibility. I think now they have a lot of exemption on the TOEFL exam, GRE, all this kind of things. 1 second, all my slides are. So you can see here, in the past there were a lot of exams, but I think a lot of universities now exempt these exams. You don't need to take any of these exams, but you have to have strong research experience if you want to apply for a PhD program. If you say, I have a master degree, I worked 1 year in a research lab, or during my master I published 2 papers, you have more chances. Research studies, what are the areas you can really think in the States? These are the top areas right now. Anything with the human diseases, specifically heart disease, cancer, diabetic, neuromuscular, translational, drug discovery, AI in medicine, these are the top area. Guaranteed you have a great career and then also job opportunities. Germany, again, in Germany you can go either with a little or no tuition fee. You can go through DAD fellowship, you can do Humboldt fellowship if you have a PhD, and then I think Germany also offers a lot of master degree courses. Particular courses are cardio. There is one place called MSc in cardiovascular. So very specific courses are there. So coming to US, there are a lot of programs are there, kind of coming for up to 10 weeks, visiting fellowship. If you are a senior undergraduate, like a 3rd year or 4th year undergraduate, you can come. Summer interns, 3 months you can come. Short fellowship, if you are a registered PhD student here, you can come up to 2 years, or even long term you can come up to 3 years. But again, you have to initiate, you have to justify. You cannot just say, because Dr. Sadayappan, I want to come. I want to come and do the protein expression study. Then they will say, why can't you do it in India? If you don't have it in India, then you can come. So you have to look specific reason to come. Or you can say, oh, you have the specific model which we don't have it. If I come, I can test my hypothesis and then I can graduate my thesis. You need to justify why you are coming rather than you just want to come. Right now you have a lot of facilities in India, DNA sequencing, cryo-EM we have. So a lot of facilities in India. So if you say, I want to come and spend time, you have to have a reason. Otherwise, you will not get the fellowship. It's my last slide. Challenges are everywhere. Again, it's up to you how you overcome and make it meaningful and successful. This one slide, again, I wrote this article. I thought of Kali, has a lot of hands, 12 hands at least. Multitasking is essential these days. If you just do one thing at a time, it's not going to work. You need to really be a multitasking person. Remember that you have a great support, the university, the mentors, the committees, so much you have the support. All you have to develop the rest of the skill, which nobody can give you, only you. You have to ask for it, and you have to be so hungry, and you have to be desperate to get a lot of these things. But it comes over the time, consistency and persistent, etc., etc. With that, my question is, are you ready to advance your career? If yes, you will know, you will find, you will keep going, you will find people like me, so many people in your life, you will move on. And so don't sit back and kind of complain about the system. Thank you, and happy to take any questions you guys have. Short-term fellowship, long-term, anything you have interested, let me know.
What are the requirements to apply for fellowship abroad in US and also in India?
Specific, depends on the specific fellowship. DAT fellowship, for DAT fellowship, you have to register a PhD here, and then you go to Germany for 6 months or 1 year exchange program. There are fellowship for master degree. I'm not sure what is the name of the fellowship. You get a free master degree through that fellowship. But my recommendation is, if you decided to do PhD, either you get the CSIR fellowship or you come abroad. So, but you have to push hard to get one of these. Yeah, summer internship you can apply, you can contact any lab, any researchers, you can contact, but you have to justify why you want to come for 3 months, how that experience will help you to advance your career. You have to really communicate very well. I would start with, if you really want to apply, first I want to start with sending an email, introduce yourself, you are excited about their work, you are not asking anything. Don't ask anything first, just get introduced, okay? And then build the relationship, and then you go for it. Then you kind of, then the investigators feel more comfortable, because again they get every day lot of requests. How you are going to differentiate from all the requests that you will get the opportunity. Think differently, okay? Yes.
Like for summer internship or anything, if we're applying, so you're saying that we should connect and we should like tell the professors how we'll be useful for them. So it's like if we are working over here over our own some particular topic, and we go there and we just say ki, I'm working on this topic, and this, would that be a gain for
There's
them?
a great opportunity to introduce, right? So you can get introduced by saying that Dr. So-and-so just had an opportunity to read your article because I am working in the same area, and I have a question. You start with a question. I have a question on how did you perform this experiment? This is like kind of playing a chess game. You are not really asking question. You are just connecting by asking a question, so that you get motivated, the other person get involved in the discussion. Okay, and so by seeing whether this person is responding your email or not, you will know. Second thing, if he respond, how, or she respond, how, you know, yeah, then you can build on it.
Also, sir, like if we apply and we don't get, then there's a lot of disappointment.
Yeah, it is a lot of disappointment. Don't get disappointed. You know, you have to dedicate every week certain time. This is your job. You know, you have to do it consistently. Otherwise, you won't apply. You say wait, never respond. Then you wait for one more month. Then another. Then time goes.
So, sir, like if I want to work in a particular lab and they reject me, but I really want to work there. So,
what I would say is, you start early and you tell them, I am interested, but I am not looking for right now. You can say, whenever there is an opportunity, I'm happy to come, but I'm only considering your lab. I'm not applying any other lab. You throw a lot of this kind of thing to make, this is the thing you should do very well. If you really wanted to go, right? This is right, when you want to get things from your parents, you're already preparing, right? How to approach them, right? You go, and then you be nice, and you help clean or do things, and then you ask, can I have some money? You are putting them, the process is, how do you put somebody in a spot to say yes? That's the process you should really look. Rather than, you are not going to your parent just ask, hey, can I have? You're not going to ask, right? You are preparing. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, sir. Sir, also are there any other better fellowship other than CSIR in India?
CSIR is the top one as far as I know. GATE exam is another one. IIT is right. He's professor at IIT. He can guide you if you need any help. So IIT takes GATE exam.
Okay.
But CSIR is the top.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very well. Yes.
Well, you said that you have a lab, right?
Yes, I do.
So, just for this point, maybe you are a college recruiter, and
I am
a college recruiter. Like, students are applying, you're getting letters and all of that.
Yes.
Now, everybody has good marks, everybody is doing internships and everything. So, how do you exactly pick out, like, what makes a resume stand out?
Right. So you emailed me, right?
Yeah.
Asking for an opportunity. I don't respond to your email. 50% of the students never come back. They assume I'm not interested, I'm not going to get it. Rest of the 50% come back after 1 week. Dr. Sadayappan, I emailed you last week and I didn't get your answer. I'm looking for an opportunity and I'm really add more, right? Now I'm responding because I have to. You are putting me in a spot to respond, right? Otherwise I feel bad, right? And I'm saying, well, right now I don't have anything. Get me back in few weeks. So I'm pushing back.
And what all as a student can we do to, stand out? Like what all things can we do extra?
That's what I'm saying. Constant approach, consistency, and start early in the process. You are not going last minute. A lot of students come on the last minute. They wait till end of May to come for a summer internship that starts in the next week of June. Why don't you start in the fall, October, November, to come in June? So you have plenty of time. So again, you have to be different than the rest of the 90%, 99% of the student. How do you do that? How do I remember you? When I went to the States, my name is too long. I am an Indian guy. How do I put my name so people can remember me? So I go to the seminar. I go 15 minutes early. So the speaker is standing alone. Mostly the speaker come early to the room. They are just waiting. They put the slide. They're waiting. So I go and talk to them. okay, and they have no choice, they just have to talk to me, or I wait till they finish their seminar, then I wait, I talk to them, and then I go back and then I send an email. It was nice meeting you, your feedback was so helpful, all thing. Again, I'm not expecting at this point, okay, I'm just seeding, okay. Next year, I'm going again to the same meeting. Now I see them again. Now I'm like interacting. Now they start, oh yeah, last year I know, yeah, how are you, what's going on, have you published it? So now the conversation is more. And now if I am strong in qualification, I don't need to knock the door. The opportunities will come and knock my door. In 3 years, I put a lot of papers, I established my name, and people recognize me. Once you establish yourself, then people will come and talk to you. But the initial time, you need to go and put your name, get the relationship to be established. And that helps for reference letters, that helps for a lot of purpose. Favorism is everywhere, right? If I know you, you get my favorism. I am biased because I know you. If I don't know you, then I am unbiased. Two application, I know, I don't know, and both are equal. Guess what? I will give opportunity to this known person because I know this person.
Thank you, sir.
Point. Yeah.
Sir, does your lab have any position for undergrads right now?
Any position you start, gain the experience. Not only my lab, every lab they offer.
I'm interested in your lab.
Okay, you email me and we will go from there. Thank you.
Sir, as I'm pursuing my last year in my undergraduate,
Yes.
but I don't have much skills. So how do I go from here, upskilling?
Asking this question is the first step, right? You ask this question. Now you keep asking. Every day you ask, right? And now you be specific, based on the lab, based on the project, based on the skill, then you are narrowing down your interest and then select specific lab and then take the training.
I have selected a few subjects that have caught my interest, and I know there are skills that are required, but I don't, if I search for opportunities, there are courses, but there are no lab skills available, and if I go for lab, they ask which initial skills you need to have.
Yeah. So in this case, I always go through recommendation. In India, recommendations always works best. You go to professor, sir, I don't know what you do, you get me a lab. Otherwise, I am going to be in this room sitting here forever. You put somebody is there, find somebody. That's what I'm saying. Find somebody and then put a pressure, and that's what you should do. Again, in India, recommendation always work. Even the States, same thing. When kids from my neighbors in the same street, they apply to come to my lab, how can I say no? Right? So the same thing. Always recommendation works the best way for initial time. Once you establish, then you don't need recommendation. They will come to you, but to establish yourself, you need to have recommendations. Yeah.
What are the topics which we can start right now to upskill our lab skills and everything?
So define your long-term goal. Again, you don't need to select a research project or disease you want to study. You don't need to, but you can define, I want to be a professor or I want to be a scientist 10 years from now, and today I want to start learning how to formulate a hypothesis, how to define experiments to test the hypothesis, fundamental, how to ask fundamental question. Very simple process I want to learn by spending 10 weeks in your lab. I want to interact with the postdoctoral fellows. I want to interact with graduate students. Sometimes depends on the lab. In some labs, if you join, you decide, okay, my God, I don't want to do PhD anymore, because they talk only negative. You have to again differentiate between negative people, positive people. You need to adapt and go along with positive people, so you get motivation. If you go with the students with always talk negative, then you feel like, what I'm doing here? Maybe PhD is not for me. It's too tough. If somebody complain all the time, then you also feel the same way. So you need to find somebody who are success and follow their path. Yeah. That's one thing I never made that mistake. If somebody started complaining about the system, the mentor, I slowly move away from them, because then I'm also get that same feeling. I slow down myself. Yeah.
So if there are no more questions, thank you, sir, for this inspiring talk. I'm sure that every one of us is very much inspired by this talk, and we can also go for our future endeavors. And thank you very much. So now we will gather outside for high tea, and then
Picture, group picture.
yes, also a group picture.